Hello and welcome to another episode of Top Deck, the series where we take a look at some of the leading TCG deck lists. So this time we have Ron returning onto the channel with the 4th place list from the Aylesbury Regional, and he was playing SPYRAL. So a few changes that have to be made to this deck with the modern format, just minor things, like obviously you're not going to be running Goblin in the extra, and you have to bring Terraforming down to 2. But we'll do the usual, we'll run through the list and deciding strategy, and then get his comments and tournament report. So we start off with Triple Ash Blossom, the only hand trap played within the main deck, 1 Ibly, 1 Drone, 1 Last Resort, Master Plan, Quick Fix Sleeper, Triple Agent, and Triple Tough. So generally this is just sort of built for going second. Then 2 Called by the Grave. Hand trap's really not that big a deal at the moment. People often just playing 3 hand traps in the modern format, so you can get away with getting around it by just these 2. 1 Foolish Burial and 2 Foolish Burial Goods. Obviously this becomes a bit dead later on. Then 1 Monster Reborn, 1 for 1, Rota, Hornet, Widow Anchor, Triple Engage. Even with the only 2 targets, it's still really good. 1 Soul Charge, 1 Big Red, 1 Assault, 1 Resort and double Terraforming, 1 Upstart, Triple Evenly, and double Rescue for the combos. In the extra we have 1 Binary Sorceress, 1 Borosword, Firewall Isolde, Unicorn, Phoenix, Cerberus, Mermaid, Linkaribo, 2 Double Helix, you don't need a third one really, 1 Kagari, 1 Hayate, 1 Trigate Wizard, and 1 Triple Burst Dragon, which has seen a spike in popularity recently. For the side deck, there's 1 Ghost Bell, double Ghost Ogre, and triple Ghost Reaper, and triple Shared Ride. Now he's made an interesting note here. He's decided to play 1, 2, and 3 because he believes that each of them has a different use. He thinks that Ghost Bell is only really good at the start, so if you draw into it a bit later on, then it's just not going to be so good, whereas against sort of combo decks like Goki, whereas Ghost Reaper, you can always hit the Firewall later on. So the idea is that you flip your Shared Ride and you start drawing 3 hand traps. You don't want to draw multiples of the same name. But Ghost Reaper is probably the best one that's available, since you can hit Firewall or Isolde, so it's good early and late in the combo. Ghost Ogre obviously only has really 1 point when it's especially good, and Ghost Bell kind of need it when they see the rematch quite early on. For the rest of the side deck, triple Twisters and triple Reboot, just outing all of the back row decks. So let's get on to his comments about this list then. So we'll look at the siding strategy first. He was always going second, except for when he was going up against Goki or Watch Chalice or any sort of deck that made a big board. So against Altergeist, he's taking out the Ashes, the Call by the Graves, and the Upstart. Ashes, they tend to play around with the Protocol. Call by the Grave doesn't do an awful lot, since they tend to be playing stuff like Impermanence, and it's not really a hand drop you can deal with, or their interrupts are on the board. And the Upstart, I guess, is just the space you need, and you put in the Reboots and the Twin Twisters to just out all of their back row. Against Strikers, taking out the Call by the Graves and the Upstart again, but putting in the triple Shared Ride here. And then against Draco, taking out the 2 Call by the Grave, the Ibly, the Upstart, and the Goods. I believe that this is because you sort of anticipate a Floodgate shutting down your long combo plays, so you just play a sort of grindier game, which means you don't need the Ibly. And then putting in the Ghost Ogres and the Reboots, Reboots to deal with all the back row, and Ghost Ogres take care of Diagram. Then against Goki, so going first for this actually, sorry. Taking out the 2 Call by the Grave, the 1 Upstart, and the 3 Evenly. You're just not going to be able to out the board with that. And then putting in a triple Reaper, 2 Ogre, and 1 Bell, as the hand traps which stop them from playing. As that's actually going second versus Goki, sorry. When you're going first against Goki, if he's lost game 1, just aim to set up a sleeper and not get destroyed. So you'd be taking out the triple Evenly and putting in the triple Shared Ride, so you just have more cards for the next turn to play off. With the rounds that he played, round 1 he went up against Trickstar, Altergeist, and went 2-0, round 2 against Trickstar, the Burn variant, and went 2-1, so not your typical control variant. Round 3 against Draco Demise, he went 1-2, so his only loss from the event. Round 4 against Draco Demise went 2-0. Round 5 against Altergeist he went 2-0, and round 6 against Draco Demise he went 2-1. So a lot of practice against Draco Demise, which I imagine must have been very popular at Stockton for this event. So a quick tournament report from him then. So we wanted to try out the deck, try out a deck that wasn't a helmet in an otherwise fairly helmet format. Take advantage of the slow and resource-based format that's pretty much devoid of hand traps by playing blind second Spiral, as almost every card in the deck is a +1, at least, or an engine card. This turned out rather well, as he could, in essence, always win the die roll, and had the advantage of being a deck nobody really prepared for. He took to playing 3 of the Twin Twisters and the Reboot in the side, and evenly in the main, which put in a lot of work in the Draco matchups that he played. Heading into the event, he did fear Gozen match by the Draco players on Hornet Drones and Solemns on the Helix, and Draco is kind of a weird matchup for him because the monsters keep changing the top card on the deck, so you don't know if your Spiral monsters are going to be able to resolve their effects, but the matchup swings heavily into your favour if you see any of your side deck cards. He also feared strange combo decks, but they're not really consistent enough at the moment to impose an auto-win board consistently, especially through hand traps. The rounds that he won were fairly decisive, but the loss was quite a long grind game, in which he lost because the last 4 top decks that he actually got were called by the grave and evenly, so not putting in any way for him to take control of the game there. He wouldn't really change the deck, the main deck at least, except that he'd cut 2 Ash for 2 Prankratops once Soul Fusion is out. Notable things from the event: he got FTK'd by the Trickstar Burn for a 5-card combo. He opened evenly, Reboot, or Twin in almost every game because of how many he played, and he opened 1 of each against one of his Altergeist opponents. The second Draco player that he went up against resolved Demise 3 times in a single game, and he tested Dangers and Strikers, but Strikers are a much better and sort of more complementary engine for the Spiral deck. It's a prime candidate for him to play at YCS London, and he said that the matches were mainly an OTK, or he got floodgated and didn't draw an out. As for the easiest or hardest matchups that this deck can face, if you see back row removal, then Altergeist is usually quite simple. They can't deal with Spiral Resort, and you can easily get over all of their monsters with Toughen Agent. He really loves Altergeist as a deck, but in this matchup, the Altergeist player just has to open a really powerful floodgate, or Solemn's Imperial Order, something like that, in order to put up a real fight. The hardest matchup for this current build is Goki. That's why he sided quite heavily for Goki, but it's rather unpopular in the EU at the moment because we don't have Summon Sorceress, so he just took it as a risk. As for changes for the upcoming events, when Summon Sorceress is out, he would take out the Evenly from the main because the format would speed up dramatically. For now, just the Prankratops switch out from Soul Fusion, and possibly playing a Thunder Dragon as a Reaper target. Shoutouts from Ron go to Matt Chen, who came second with Goki, but without having access to a second Isolde, and for lending him the Striker engine. So thanks very much, Ron, for coming on with your 4th place list from Stockton. Great to see Spiral once again pushing into those top cuts and taking a 4th place position at this WCQ. Good luck to you in future events. Thanks for watching this episode of Top Deck. If you have any comments or suggestions that you would like to make, leave them in the comment section down below. Check out the description for details of how you can get involved in this series. You can enter by voice interview, or instead you could just send all of your information over Facebook Messenger. Anything like that will be absolutely fine. If you want to see anything in particular from the upcoming series, then be sure to get in touch, and I'll see you guys in the next video.